It's Halloween is around the corner this Sunday, right? So I hope you guys are doing well. Um, John and I are gonna, go away, decline. John and I are gonna run up to the cabin just to make sure that the internet and everything is working because um, a week from tomorrow, I'm going up with Joan Wolfram and Dara Williamson. We've been going up for like darn near 20 years, uh, and we had to get a new internet service so that I could continue to do these while I was gone. So I just want to make sure it's all in gear. Plus, Joan is teaching a class. Now, the really cool thing about us is that we have been doing this like for 20 years, as I just said. It started as 3 days. Now it is, I think, 10 days, not including travel on each side. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to work on. They're all into their photography class, so they'll be working on that. And it's Joan Wolfram, as in the Joan Wolfram color wheel. And it was up at the cabin where I said, you need to do a little one. And the idea was born, her little pocket color wheel, which I keep with me everywhere. And Dara has been an author, a travel teacher, has written tons of book, edited, was head of the editorial department at C&T, and she is retired. And she lives up in Mendocino. So Joan comes down from Seattle and Dara comes from Mendocino, which is kind of why 3 days just did not cut the mustard. Okay. So today I'm going to go through the shows that we taped when we were at Lake Travis, okay? And I got pictures of the facility, I got pictures of the guests, what they did. And as I was putting this together yesterday, I was thinking, wow, it was a really mixed bag of talented people. And to me, that's very exciting. So let's take a look at what you have sent me. And let's see what Margaret sent along. Margaret, that is an extremely fabulous set. Very different from what I provided. That always makes me happy. And everybody, take a good look see at this. And you might even want to come back and capture a picture of it because I think this is an extremely successful set. So, yay. And all those happy brights and all that. Okay, then we have Miss Janice. Okay, she's let's take a close up of it, okay? And then we'll get back to it. Okay. Whoa. Cray cray. Absolutely cray cray. And she said it was not her pattern, it's a Bonnie Hunter pattern. I don't even want to know how many pieces are in that thing, that pineapple. So thank you for that send along. She first sent it to me, I think, on Facebook. Guys, don't communicate with me on Facebook. I'm not that good at that. And then she sent it to me the regular way. And when I got it again, I just had to laugh out loud. I think the name of this quilt should be Endurance. Endurance. Bonnie Hunter, we love you. Okay. And then Wendy watched on Wednesday when we talked about how people recreated quilts from I'm going to say Argonaut. I'm going to say it wrong, but from the Pooh's collection that's at Houston right now. And she sent me this. This was a quilt, I think, from about 1850 on the left. And then she did an interpretation of it. But what she did was she simplified it. What is it? Huguenot. John just came in to sell me the Huguenot collection. So, don't be intimidated by a quilt that you kind of go, whew, I don't know if I can really tackle that, because you can. You can simplify it. And I mean, this is absolutely stunning, Wendy. And one of the things I really like about it, well, besides, of course, the applique, is that your neutrals in the center are different. So it gives, rather than just scenting it with alternate, solid blocks like the antique, it gives a whole nother dimension to the whole thing. It's fabulous. Now I have a problem. Oh, I see what it is. I've got to find where we're at. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I have another interview mixed in here. And so I'm like, wait, how did that happen? All right. So, as I said, we were at Lake Travis outside Austin. And what we did was we went to an Airbnb and got a large facility that could take care of different shots in different locations. And then a bunch of us stayed there. But whoa, whoa, can life be so easy? Not. The original place we were going to stay was a much bigger facility, but for some reason they had to pull it from us. It was VRBO, and I think it had to do was the house was not in compliance or something like that. So they gave us second choices, and we all agreed on this one, but you don't know till you get there. And this was smaller, okay? But here is the main house. I mean, the gardens were just, oh my gosh. And I actually rated it on VRBO as really good, but it was kind of crazy because it's on a hill. And so when you walked into the first story, that is a living space and a bedroom. Then you have to go up into the kitchen and then go up into more bedrooms at the top. That's where John and I stayed, at the top. So I did not really feel it's a place I could recommend if people have disabilities of any sort and or young children, because it was all white furniture and you're not allowed to sit on it and eat. So, but it was beautiful. Then, if you turn to the left, this is the garage. And in the garage upstairs, there were two more bedrooms. And so two more people could stay up there. Now, we did shoot a lot of the shows, not a lot, about 50% inside and then 50% outside. I mean, the gardens were just incredible. You know, I just don't think of Texas this way, and it shows you how limited I am. When Joey was in fifth grade, they had to do a state report, and he got Texas, and that was the first time I really understood how vast that state is with its regions, its weather, excuse me, and all that. So what's this of? Okay, the gardens. Here's the back deck. And that looks off into what should be the lake, but it was low in the season, so we really didn't see water. If you craned your neck and looked to the right, you could see it. But I mean, that view was nothing to sneeze at. And so this is when we're outside, what it kind of looks like. Okay. So we also did some in front of the garage too. I mean, just Shelly did a fabulous job. You know, Shelly works with we've done an interview with Shelly here, and she works with the artists before. And then when we get there, we get our notes. And so we can do these shows rapidly. And Shelly's big deal is to bring out the stories. That's what she loves. She loves the quilting. She's not a quilter, but she wants the stories. And the more we interview people, the more we dig in. We are such a vast, diverse community, of which I love everything about it. Okay, so our first guest was Rhiann, and she is a modern quilter. You can kind of peek inside the house. What sets her apart from the other modern quilters is that she does every single thing by hand. Okay, I'm not sure about binding, but like this one she has her hand on, she even stitched those flying geese by hand. And I asked her, I don't think I asked her on camera. I mean, that must have just been a bear because of all the biases and everything. Oh, yes, it is. But she did it. And interestingly, when we posted that particular quilt, it got so many hits and shares and all that. So I thought that was really interesting. This is earlier. This is earlier in her work, and this kind of reminds me of what Sujata did, kind of, with the quilts from India. I mean, the quilts from India are much smaller squares and this and that, but I mean, it's just got all this incredible stitching on it. It's just fabulous. And then this is called parlor. That was called windowsill. This is called parlor. And it's so subtle. It's so quiet. So her quilts are not like scream in your face, but I asked her, I said, okay, it's the handwork that speaks to people, and it is the simplicity of her patterns. She's a minimalist. That's the word. Yes. Thank you, John. I think he needs to host this. So here she is showing Ricky how she works it by hand, and she quilts in a way that I do not quilt. But here, I think she's talking about using French knots instead of quilting. So there was some really good stuff there that I think, though she is modern, her throwback to everything by hand will speak to traditionalists. Very, very, very nice gal. Very nice gal. Okay, in the same show, we got Lilo. And the last time we did a thing with Lilo on this, I said, come on, I want to do something on what if somebody has a workspace that has just flippin' exploded. And I know some of you have sent pictures to her, and I'm like going, oh, you got to be kidding. How do you even deal with this? So she gave us some super practical tips and tricks on getting organized if your place has just exploded. Mine had not exploded as badly as some of the other people who sent in pictures, but it was down that path of destruction. So that was really great. And then in the afternoon, we had Heather Black. Heather is also a modern quilter. And let's take a look at this. This quilt we hung up to block the light coming in because there really weren't wall coverings, and it looked like stained glass. I know this is not how she intended for it to be viewed, but oh my goodness, it is just so unbelievable, beautiful. But the other thing that Heather does is, and this is the stuff that Shelley seeks out, she likes to use experiences to give her ideas on her quilts. So if I didn't tell you what this one was, you might wonder, okay? This one is called Road Trip. And it's about them all piling either in a bus, I forget, I can't remember, but that's their road trip. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Miss Heather Black. Her design sense is unbelievable. I honestly thought she had taken graphic design at some point, and she hasn't. She just astonishes me, her work. But also, she has a really cool fabric line, like many of them. This is actually called Road Trip. I'm trying to figure out who the manufacturer is. PBS Fabrics. So I never do this. I went shopping. I had to buy her fabric. I love her fabric. Oh, I didn't just buy one bundle. No, that would be too easy. Here's another one. And there's a panel in here. I haven't broken them apart yet because there's just like a ceremony that I have to do when I do that. Look at these designs, guys. They're fabulous. Oh no, but there's another one. So I conveniently didn't bring my checkbook this round. And so John had to pay for it. Yeah, that's how I do it sometimes. I mean, these are just incredible. So Heather is also a fabric designer, Heather Black. You want to check her out. Okay, let's see. Next person. Where are we? Where are we? Heather. Oh, okay. And then Tommy Romano. Tommy is a traditional quilter. He is a school teacher, I believe in high school, philosophy. He has been on before, but his gift to the quilting world is bringing in new quilters. And he basically has a 3-prong approach of teaching newbies. When he was on before, he did number 2. And then on this show, we did number 1 and number 3. Okay, this is actually his ode to Houston, where he resides. He works at a quilt shop too, and Tommy is going to is getting his doctorate in education, so he is a busy guy. Okay, this is the one he teaches beginners. And we were having a little issue getting the machine to behave, but I love this picture because this quilt looks complex and it's super easy, super easy. And he shows us how to make this. So whether you are a beginner or know a beginner that should be watching this, if you want to come up with a really quick, easy project, this is it. And I believe it works with jelly rolls. So yay on that, okay? Um, let's go on. Then we had Linda. I gotta go through my things so I don't mess up. Oh yeah, also let me go back to Heather. She taught the basics of curved piecing and etc. Okay, then Tommy, that was the jelly bean quilt that we just saw. And then he has another quilt called Sudoku. And that's his third quilt that he teaches beginners. So he has a full show. And it was really cute because we had Justin dress up in a graduation gown in the beginning because he is now graduated by having taught us his 3 beginning quilts on the Quilt Show. All right, then Linda was on, and Linda Sullivan, she had some really cool things she was teaching. She did wonky piecing, which is another quilt that you could knock out super quickly, and it looks very sophisticated. And let's see, we did easy machine applique, and then let's talk about embellishment stitches, okay? So let's take a look. Here we go. Look at those quilts. They are so darn bright and happy. And as I look at those, none of them are we teaching. So that's okay. That's okay. Now here's a picture of Carl, her husband, and he's sitting there taking Ricky's place while they adjust the lights and all that. And the reason I'm throwing this one in is because Carl actually was the designer of the Carol Duvall set. How about that? Yay for that. Okay, then let's go to Ellen, which Ellen is really interesting, okay? She was an airline pilot and broke into this field when it was really unacceptable for women to do it. So by saying that, she has a very analytical brain, okay? Her show was about taking a traditional, let's say you're a traditionalist, okay? And you're scared to death to do art quilts. She broke it down extremely analytically. And it was like, this makes sense. So this is a show, if you kind of wanted to play with going a little artsy, this is the show for you. This is one of her pieces. It's absolutely lovely. She showed how she got there. She talked about it. And then here's another one. I believe this was from a photograph. Again, she was traditionalist, all right? And so I really appreciated how she did it. Then she even got down to using some pieces of paper cut out and talking about the basics of design and balance and all that stuff. And it's Ellen Lindner. Lindner, Linder. You kind of swallow the D. She is, all these people, most of them are all doing Zooms and stuff like that. And we found Ellen on the Global Quilt Connection. So if you have a guild and stuff like that, you can go find who's teaching, who's Zooming, who's traveling, and all that good stuff. And then I'm saving the last, even though she wasn't the last, she was before Ellen, because I want to share with you something. This is Libby Williamson. And I love Libby. I consider her a personal friend of mine now. And wherever she's teaching, I take her class, period. And the last class I took from her was at the Sisters Outdoor Quilt Show that was virtual, and it was Wonky Sisters. And I said, we have got to get Libby on to do Wonky Sisters. Now, the thing about Libby is that, let me see, Libby has different levels of classes. She has the non-intimidating classes, and we did that one. It was working with panels. She designs panels. She showed how you can get your own panels done. Then we went to Wonky Sisters, which was the class I took. That's kind of her medium one. And then we went to something that's so far out the box, only Libby could think of it. So let's take a look at this picture. Yeah, this is one of her show and tells. She has a lovely, lovely sense of design. Lovely. But get this one, you guys, and I'm gonna show you my Wonky Sisters in a few minutes, all right? Because I finished it after doing the show. But imagine this. What if you wanted to not use batting, but you wanted to use cotton ropes? This is how this woman thinks. This is called wallflowers, I believe. And that is rope that's in there instead of batting. And she showed how to do it. And this is about girls at a dance. I don't know if it was junior high or high school. I do not remember, Libby. And they're waiting for someone to come and ask them to dance. So I'm going to show you. I finished my wonky sisters. You've seen it on my board, but you haven't seen it finished. So let me back up a little bit. I love this quilt. I love everything about it. Whoops, there we go. I love her. And actually, her name is Samantha. And Samantha is my daughter's, one of my daughter's best friends. And they always called Adair always called Samantha her wifey. And the thing about Samantha is Samantha loves to bake. She can bake like a professional baker. So I put that in. They play a lot together, so that's why I put Jax in. And then she had this turquoise Vespa that my dad just coveted her on that Vespa. And then Libby does a lot of stitching afterwards. Whoops, wrong side. I decided to go, I don't know if you can see him. I decided to go and put sequins on it and beads. So, because Sam's elegant too. She's super elegant. So, and then Prairie Points. Yay, Susan Cleveland. I wouldn't do that if you hadn't been on the show. So, I also quilted it before I wonkied down that sister. Okay. So here we go. I got a lot of people have shown up, and I appreciate that. On Monday, we're going to talk about how to set your quilt, your paper piecing quilt. But here's the issue, or here's the good news. There's tons of examples in the forum of how people have done it differently. And frankly, some of yours I like way more than mine by a long shot, okay? So I'm just saying on that, don't be tied to mine. Remember, the blocks are 4 inches, 6 inches, and I believe 10 inches. And so that's why I had to use spacers in it and all of that. But think of it as a jigsaw puzzle, and if you have to put in spacers, no big deal. So we'll go over that on Monday. You might want to work on more flying geese and get that done over the weekend. And I am going to, you're going to be jealous. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to do an interview with Victoria Findlay Wolf. She has an exhibit in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, at the Quilt Museum there, of which in the very beginning I went and helped do a fundraiser for them. I got the imagery yesterday from her, and the exhibit is breathtaking, okay? Breathtaking. It runs through the beginning of December. I want to get her interview up before that, but I'm just putting out a public service announcement, a PSA, that it's worth the drive, and you might want to get in your cars before the weather changes. It is stunning. So I'm very excited to do that interview in about a half hour. I want you to know I appreciate you spending your time with us. And oh, I love everything about Samantha, Paula. Um, I want to do another face, and I want to do my daughter because she just got her second master's in library science. So now she is a librarian. And I just imagine what I could do with that wonky sister with a librarian. And now, one of the things that Libby says in it, if you try and make it look like a person, you're going to fail. So to me, I'm depending on the other stuff I can put in it. As far, oh, okay, let's see. Boo, 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 boo. Paul, is there any way to watch Simply Quilts? I think it might be on some channel. Or you maybe try their website. I don't know. I don't know. I look back at those and I get pained, so I try and run in the other direction. So, when is the next Color My World live? Well, it would be next Friday, a week from Friday. She's always the very. John just thinks it might be Discovery Plus for Simply Quilts. And I don't know that they have all the episodes. And no, I do not get residuals. So support us here at thequiltshow.com, okay? We're the ones taking care of you now. Please support us. Join, become a member, please. Okay, so the next Color My World, because tomorrow's the 30th. Okay, so that's the end of the month. Yeah, the next Friday. Okay. Okay, so Carmen got to go see the Victoria Findlay Wolf exhibit. Yeah, it's fabulous. It's not just good, it's fabulous. I like that word, Carmen. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm wondering in Cedarburg if there's still that quilt shop that's made in the one-room schoolhouse. I'm going to stay a second here. If somebody could tell me if that's still there, because if I recall, there was a wool place, like with a wool mill. Ooh, I'd love to go there. And then there was this one-room schoolhouse that you had to go downstairs to use the ladies' room, and it's all these little toy potties, because that's what the kids went on. So, Hillary, thank you for supporting us. Okay, what's our next project? Ron D. I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm being mean. I need to get a little more information before we do, but I will tell you it is going to be a free form thing, and I'll show you in a little bit. A free form thing, and it's not like a mystery quilt, but mine is not going to look like yours, and it's a place to calm ourselves during the crazy of the holidays. Okay. Yeah, Roscoe, yeah, I know you're still not getting the newsletter. A lot of people aren't. And John told me not to talk about it, but we are having issues and we are on it looking at other mail providers. So remember, you guys, you can go to the front page. I know it's not the same. And there's a pop-up on the right-hand side, and that will tell you, click there and it'll take you to the newsletter, the latest one. So let me put it this way, Roscoe, if you're not happy about this, we are 1,000 times less happy. And the carrier that we're with, they know it's an issue. They don't think it can be fixed till January. Sorry, peeps, we can't do that. That's not who we are. We communicate with you via our newsletter and Facebook Live. So this is not a situation that we're ignoring. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, Joanne, yeah, yes, Joanne, I do get it in my Gmail account. I have a Gmail account and I have an AOL account. I do get it in my Gmail account, and I think Gmail's free. But you shouldn't have to do that. That's insane. So, okay, guys. Oh, the ye old schoolhouse still exists in Cedarburg. Look, I've been to 10,000 quilt shops in my life. I will never forget that store. Ever. It is a kick. So give yourself time to do that too. Okay. Okay. Oh, so Amy says you're reading another newsletter sender's blog, and apparently we're not the only one having trouble. That's what John was going to call up and say, are we the only ones? But then we thought, they're going to tell us the truth. So on that delightful note, happy Halloween. We have a groovy light bulb in our front of our house. It's the first time we've been home for Halloween in probably 20 years, so I'm very excited about that. Yay! So to that, I say trick or treat.